Hello, world. Yeah, so it's the struggle is real out here. We put in so much motivation working for other people, but that same energy, you take it to your own platform and trying to build something from the ground up. Well, let me tell you, motivation is scarce. It's scarce. And all I can say is the struggle is real. I'm sitting here working on this Facebook, my page, working on my TikToks. Um, I don't know much. I'm just self teaching uh, how to do this. It took me 15 minutes to get into the actual background of my settings. I had to pray for it. And so the struggle is real. If you're thinking about starting your own business, I'm going to say do as much prep work as possible, um, and give yourself some time. I just thought, well, I'll just jump right into this. And struggle is real. I get some things done every day, but it's a process for sure. For sure. People make it seem so easy, but I'm here to tell you that's a mindset. And maybe when I finish and after I replicate this over and over again, and I become this big monstrous platform, my company, and have employees and all this extra stuff, then I'll see it as easy because I'll just be able to go in there and just like pow, 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 pow. But right now, for a 30 something year old woman who did not grow up using computers, no, not like that. Uh, the struggle is real, but hey, if other people can do it, I can do it. I just have to stick with it. This is the process. This is the grind. This is the sweat you put in, the tears you put in, and I'm trying to also give updates. I haven't been up to date, giving my up to dates and all that, to do with dates. And so, yeah, the struggle is real. I haven't made any money yet, but I'm getting there. There was just so many obstacle things that I had to get a hurdle with. Yesterday, I actually spent most of my day trying to figure out this Dun and Bradstreet thing because I was like, okay, I know I'm going to want business credit. I have to scale my business, and I need some capital. And I was like, okay, I watched all these videos, like how to create a Dun and Bradstreet number. And then when I went in there to create it, first it has you, okay, let me tell you a story. First, when you go into Dun and Bradstreet, it has you go in there and check and see if your business has one. So I put in the business information that I had just updated, didn't think nothing else of it. It didn't bring anything up. So I went into create, and then I had some issues because it asked me for a SEC number, which nobody said anything about on those videos that I was watching. And so then I had to figure out what this NAIC or SEC number is. And when I did that, it took about an hour and had signed me out or timed me out of the application. And it wouldn't let me get back in to do the application. So then I got frustrated and I had to use another email to create another profile. So then I called Dun and Bradstreet and talked to Dan. And Dan was like, you have a Dun and Bradstreet number. And I'm like, from where? And he's like, when did you create your LLC? And I'm like, 2021. And he was like, yeah, we had it. It was already created for you by the system. I'm like, what system was that? I'm all paranoid. But apparently this got done by itself and I didn't know it. And the reason why I never found the video, I'm sorry. The reason why I never found the business when I looked it up is because I was using my old zip code and not my business zip code, and I didn't know it. So then I had everything mixed up. I had emails all intertwined and stuff, And I told him, hey, all this stuff, all this information. So he was really nice and he fixed it. So I think, because I haven't been able to see it yet, but he fixed it and, gave me a confirmation. Tried to, you know what? I am so tired of being sold something to. I had to get a no solicitation sign on my door at my house, like soliciting, and people get mad when they don't get the sale. He got kind of mad when he didn't get the sale. I had recently had somebody, trick me into getting not getting, but getting an appointment for solar, and I didn't realize it was solar because I would have said no. And the guy came over my house and he was trying to convince me that California electric was more than Oklahoma's because of the rate. And I was like, that's not true. And like he got upset because everything he said, I knocked it right down. I mean, you going against the ox. What you think? A knowledgeable ox. And I'm like, yeah, the rates may be higher in California, but the fact that it's tropical weather and the fact that you barely even need, and most of the houses don't even have, at least in Los Angeles, they don't even have AC. You don't need AC. You maybe a good air conditioner, like a window unit. If you have AC, you moderately turn it on, but it's not just on night and day all summer long like here. So even though the rate is higher, the cost is lower because you're in a tropical environment. And he was like pissed. He slammed my door. Yeah, sales guy. He slammed my door when he left. That's childish, okay? So I went ahead and got no solicitation signs. I wish that I can get like a no solicitation, like when I call people or they call me, it'll be like, no solicitation. Don't try to sell me anything. If I want it, I get it. I can see if you like briefly said something, or if you said I'll email it to you and then you let me read over it. But I just don't like to be upsold. Everybody's upselling, 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 and hey, I know that was a part of my last job until I got promoted, and they made a big deal out of it. They really did, even though the company was like literally screwing everybody. I'm not gonna say no names. Hey, all I'm gonna say is everything is not what it seems with that. So, anyways, back to my journey here. Um, I did get to go out to the truck stop, and I got to meet some people. And it's a mechanic shop right next to the truck shop, like like a repair center. And I asked them, could I drop off some cards? And they said yes. So I'm waiting for the cards to actually come in the mail, and I'm gonna drop them off there. And I'm actually gonna order me like a wig because I don't want to do my hair. The only thing I want to do this hair is take some scissors and chomp it off. So, but I'm gonna keep it because I have an idea. I don't know. All I know is I want to look good, but I don't want to do my hair. So I'm ordering something to do with all this so I can, get myself all prettied up. You can get more with honey, right? Than tea. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go to all of my local truck stops and solicit. I'm going to solicit. But, I'm not going to be like pressuring people because like you're going to say yes or no. That's it. You're going to take my card and use it or you're not. And maybe we can help each other out. I can dispatch you and you can drive and we can keep going on about our business. And perseverance is going to work. So I guess it's kind of like the pot kettle and the kettle black. Okay, so I guess I can't solicit it and say other people can't solicit to me. But my thing is when they get upset, you can't get mad at somebody if they don't want your stuff, okay? You can't get mad. It's not like brush it off, go on. Like these people do not handle rejection well, okay? So, yeah, anyways, so I got that going and now I got the Dun& Bradstreet. I recently had to update my credit report. I was looking at a podcast and this guy was like talking about he was talking about other stuff, but he mentioned how to deal with them. And he mentioned that my credit may have been getting denied because of my personal information. And I remember when he said that, I was like, the last time I pulled my credit, like the full report, the full like credit report or whatnot, I had like 80 numbers on there. And I had like every address I ever lived on was on there. And I had no idea that that was affecting me. I just thought, hey, I got history. I thought it was a good thing. I was wrong. It's not a good thing. And most people don't even know it. Like, they don't, when you move and you think that your address is updated, your credit report just adds an address on there. They literally have every address unless you tell them to take it off. So I called all three of them, Equifax, TransUnion, and that could be a whole nother video right there. My experience with calling them. And anyways, I had that stuff taken care of, and now I'm just waiting them to update. So it's kind of like a limbo because I don't want to start applying for business credit because I know they're going to use my personal credit until those things are cleared off of there, just to make sure that the odds will be more in my favor than out of my favor. They said it will take like 5 to 7 days to update that. And so that is what I'm waiting on with that. So, wow, that was sticking up. So that's where I'm at right now with it all. I have my website up. I did do my website. I have my website. I have a business address. I have a phone number, a 1-800 number actually. And yeah, that's about all. I lost my EIN number because, like, okay, so what happened was, to people that's just following my channel or looking at this video, I had this grand idea like 2 years ago, well, like a year and a half ago. And I was watching all of these videos about freight dispatching and stuff. And I was looking for a way out of my current job because the pay was okay, but I just wanted more for myself and my family. And I wanted more time because I was working a lot of hours just to keep that income up, just to be able to maintain our lifestyle. I'm a single parent. I'm not like broadcasting that, but those are just facts. And I really just wanted a way out of corporate America, and I gave it a try. I mean, before this last job, I hadn't spent a whole year at a corporation. So I think that's impressive that I spent 5 years at this one. And I mean, I left 2 days before my 5th year, so I would say 5 years. Okay, maybe it was a leap year in between there, so it was 5 years. So, for me to walk away from that was a big deal because I was making good money. I was making, over 50K a year. I was almost in 6 figures, to be honest with you. And most people, if they didn't understand the Holy Spirit and the way the Lord works when He comes within you, things that aren't right have to change. Like my weight. I have to lose weight because the Holy Spirit can't abide in an unclean vessel. He corrects things that are wrong. I'm not trying to make this channel political, but this just kind of ties into my story. Now, there's other channels that I have that are way more versed in dealing with things of the Lord. But also, we are a spirit faith-based company. I wanted to make sure God was in the equation of this, just so I don't attract anyone who doesn't need to be around me or my business. Yeah, that's exactly why. And also to give the Lord the glory first. First, always. He comes first. So with all that being said, a year and a half ago, I was like, and the economy was down. We were way down. I was literally going to churches getting food. Like, how is somebody, making a grand, almost, well, I think I was making like, at that point, I was making like 1,300. Yeah. So I was making like from 13 to 1,500 a check. So I was making like 800 maybe with taxes, like 850 a week. And we were struggling. And I was going to like churches, getting food, and all while I'm making this much because I'm paying all the bills and my rent and everything else and my car note. And it was just like the only way I could figure out of it was to go get help. And I had to literally go to charities while making that kind of money. And I was praying. Lord, help. Lord, I need your help. I'm igniting this help. And came up with that idea. It just came down, this idea. And I love trucks. And I opened the LLC because it's like $100 here to get an LLC. So it wasn't much. Anyways, I'm on my way to launching, and it was like something held me back from it because it wasn't time yet. And I wanted to buy a house, and I knew it would be easier to buy a house if I had employment. So the business, I just kind of put it on limbo. I had a lot of stuff going on. I put it on limbo. So it just sit there and dormant. And then after all those things came to pass, I actually things did get better. I got a promotion. I got 2 promotions actually. And I had got like 4 raises, and they had gave us like a huge raise because everybody was also struggling too. And their pay grade was too low for the economy. So when they did that, and I went from making like 43 or 44,000 a year to like 50, and then like end up, I think my last raise was like 52. And then what happened was I was having issues because like all every supervisor, not every supervisor, but it was a few supervisors, they were just on me. They were always on me. And if you are like me, whether you anything else but like me, then you know what that is. It's the old black tax, right? So I was just to the point where I was like, okay, I just need to focus. And I did. And the Lord blessed me to get to another department that wasn't so stressful. But they had no overtime in that department. I loved the department. I loved it. I mean, if I didn't have so much responsibility and it was just like me and like one kid, and I just needed and I could just get away with getting like a 1 or 2 bedroom, I don't know if I ever would have made this step because I was making really good money for that size household. Or if the kids' fathers were contributing to their existence, then, but you can't sit around and say shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and all of that, right? You have to go on with your life because at the end of the day, you're going to do what's right. You're going to do what's right, right? You're going to do what's right. So when that happened, I just had to grit my teeth, and I had to make a move back over to the department, but I was moving up. So I moved up to I went back to the stressful department, but it was like I was still moving up. So they had all the overtime I could ever want. And I started again. I used to call it 13 and 1, where I could do 13 days, 13 12 to 14-hour days, and then get 1 day off. Well, I developed this algorithm because it was a wow. I was doing the 13 and 1 when I was in Las Vegas. So that was like 3.5 years ago. And I was working like consistently 13 and 1, 13 and 1, 13 and 1. And then I went ahead and I made another one because I realized I couldn't put in that type of work anymore mentally for this company to work that long without, having time to myself and my kids. So I developed this other schedule where I would take a 2 hour lunch and I still have my 30 minutes of break. And then I would come back for 4 more hours that night. So I would work a total of 12 hours a day. And on Saturday, I would come in and put in anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. And I still took Sunday off. So, and I took Sunday off every week, every week, every week. It was only a few weeks where I worked like it's a couple of times where I worked like 3 weeks straight, but it was like maybe 4 hours on a Sunday. But that allowed me to save up enough money for my down payment and to get my house, to show them, hey, I can qualify for this house. Not even knowing that if I would have cleaned up my personal information, it probably would have been way better. And so yeah, the whole story was for that. So the company was dormant. I was getting well educated in the trucking business, and I was about to start, and it was just like, okay, just set this down real quick. I didn't know if I would ever use it again. And so I hate to tell this story right now, but just to give you a little bit more insight, I started getting signs that that company wasn't for me. For one thing, the higher you move up in a company, the bigger your lies get, because you have to make sure that the company is not going to be a liability. And before, I was a cheerleader for the company. I mean, I was a cheerleader for them, okay? You couldn't say anything about them. You say something about them, and it was almost like, mama gonna knock you out. That's how it was. Like, mama gonna knock you out. Like, seriously. But that was bothering me. But I said, okay, they down for me, I'm down for them. I got to do it. The Lord put me here. I asked for this job, and which I did. That's another story. I'll have to save that for another time because this was a journey. 5 years, it was a journey. So what happened was, it's another thing that happened that made me want to leave and start working on this full time. Somebody, oh yeah, it was the weather. So we had like a land hurricane here, and all the power was out. And this is the first time in a long time, especially since I was working there, that this had happened. And I mean, I robbed Peter to pay Paul to get my butt to somewhere that was stable. And I got to Oklahoma City. It's an hour and something drive. And I got a good hotel, one that had internet. I tried to get my computer stuff because I worked from home. And I tried to plug in. It did not work. And I was like, oh man, it doesn't work. So I went to the Walmart and bought like this router thing. The guy didn't know what he was talking about. That didn't work. So then I called, Best Buy. And a guy, he helped me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to the store, because he was like, yeah, this thing, buy this Roku device. No, it was a Netgear device. And he was like, yeah, it's $600. And I was like, okay, I got it. I had it, but it was just like, I'm gonna spend $600 just to go to work during a catastrophe, because something in my spirit, and I believe this now with all my heart, something in my spirit was telling me it was going to be some dramas over me missing work during something that was completely not my fault. Like, my hand is to God. I control the weather. No. So I ended up going up there, and the guy, they was like, what guy you talking about? And I didn't even know it was the Radio Shack customer service guy, because he had me thinking that he was just up there at the store. And I was like, I felt like I was really my age at that point. I was just like, you knocking on 40's door. You really are. You did not know the difference between a store attendant and customer service. So then they told me we don't have those in stock, because it really was the right equipment that I needed. And so I was just driving around, like the city is like really, 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 really stocked with like all these different clusters of shopping malls. And something said, go into T-Mobile, ask Sim. I can't stand T-Mobile. T-Mobile didn't have the device, but they were sure trying to upsell me again. I said, oh no, gotta leave, bye. Where's the AT&T store? Up the street around the corner. While I'm going to the AT&T store, I see a Verizon store, and something's like, they high tech, go in there. So I did. As soon as I get in there, they bum rush me. Oh yeah, we got exactly what you need. Let us run your credit. I let them run my credit. Oh, you can get anything in here on your credit. I'm like, okay, I just want this though. So it was a little device, and it was way cheaper. I ended up like getting a steal for it. And I got the device, and it was all good. And I went back to the room, and as soon as I plugged it in, I was locked in. I clocked into work. I only missed one day and like 7 hours, but I had overtime that night. So I worked my 1 hour and then my extra overtime that night inside the room with 3 kids. Okay. I went through all of that. I'm giving y'all the short version. I had packed up the food, all the stuff. We in the dark in here in my house. Drove all the way to the city with the 3 kids. Bought a electric skillet, a blender, and a rice cooker to cook in the room. And I reached out to the company. I reached out to HR. And I reached out to my supervisor, and I reached out to my supervisor. She's the one who initiated me. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. That's another video. So, anyways, I had already heard from my supervisor that day that I was in Verizon store. He had called me back, and he was plotting and twisting too. So that's another story. That will probably be on my other page. It can't be on this page. This is going to be about trucking. So anyways, and I'm just giving you this backstory to how this all just manifested real quick. It was how I was led to feel. HR did not reach out to me. My HR representative, who's assigned to my group, and when she finally did, it was like on like a Friday, and it was just like a vague message through our messenger platform. And I was like, that was vague. So I felt some kind of way, and I sent her, I copy and pasted the picture of our chat. And I mean, it wasn't no condolences. It was no sympathy, nothing. And then I messaged her boss, because that's how I am. I don't like that. I'm straight shot, no chaser. So her boss was like, oh, I'm sorry. And, reached out to me. And then they gave me occurrences for missing those days. And they didn't know, because it's me. And I know it's like 3 other girls, and they just got hired on. And it's like just the regular employees that work in the buildings. I'm not saying no names, not yet. So anyways, but we were the only ones that were virtual. So it was like 4 or 5 of us in the whole state for this company. And this is a massive Fortune 500 company, mind you. So at that point, how I started looking at the company, it's like everything shifted. They didn't give a damn about me. I felt it in my spirit. I felt it in my soul. And I'm like, I'm giving them ideas and they're using it and not giving me credit for years. I'm blessing them. I'm blessing this company. I'm praying for the company. And when something happens like this and I'm basically in another state of mind, all the power lines are down around me. No stores, no gas. You can't even say a word of sympathy to me, and you're an HR representative? And then you're going to give me occurrences? My mind was thrown into another, I wasn't normal. And feeling like, just knowing that they really didn't have my best interest in heart, that they didn't give a shit about me. They didn't care. After 5 years of devotion, that hurt. That hurt me deep. It cut me. And from that point, it was only a matter of time. They were trying, and then the supervisor, my ex supervisor, who was still the manager, she after me. She got on what Trump say, a witch hunt. She went on a witch hunt. And the Lord said, let go. And I just let go. Some people, I know a lot of people that work there. I became friends with a lot of people, and we get on the phone and they talk mess. But me, I'm not that type. When I'm for you, I'm for you. And when I ain't for you, it's over. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, hold my tongue, nothing. I'm not your slave. You're not my master. It don't work like that with me. Uncle Tom don't live here. He gone down the street somewhere. And that's how it ended up being. And that's what made me go full-fledged. It was a lot of spiritual things that happened. The last day that I worked there, which I didn't even know was my last day, they forced me to resign. My daughter came in. She was looking for something for me in the garage. And I was trying to find a charger to my laptop. We found it later, but I ordered another one. Okay, that's another story. But anyways, and she said, Mom, I found this. And I'm going to show you. Let me get up real quick because I'm at the butt end of this video. It's already 30 minutes long. And I don't know who's going to watch this all the way through, but maybe you needed a testimony today. So, my daughter, she said, Mom, here, look what I found. I hadn't seen this thing in years because we just moved and it was put up. And I bought this years ago. This thing has to be at least 5 or 10 years old. Probably older than that. And this brought a tear to my eye because it was already what was on my heart. Hey, do something that you like. Devote your time. Devote your 15 hours or your 12 hours or however long. Devote it into your own business. It ain't cut for everybody. Some people will always be a corporate person, happy with the drippings they get. And that's fine. I was happy with it for a while. I really was. It taught me a lot. It taught me discipline for sure. More discipline. We all have a little discipline, right? Because we go to the restroom and wipe ourselves. That's discipline. But the Lord put me on another mission. Hey, this your truck. And makes a killing. It's not just a truck, it's a delivery truck. And so I was mad that first day. I'll sue y'all. The Lord said, give up, leave it alone. Your blessings come from me. So who my blessings come from? They come from me. They don't come from them. I was using them to bless you, and I'll use somebody else to bless you. So I let go. Oh, they got spies calling. I don't care. I let go and I let God. See, I got something in me that you could only hope for. I say that to say the Lord, and you know it's the Lord pushing you to follow your dreams. Just do it. It's scary because a part of me is like, what did you just do? But I've been through so much in my life. There is no other option but to choose God's way. And whatever comes from that way, so be it. Some people will live and die on this earth and live a life, and they would never say those words that just came out of my mouth and mean it. They picked and they chose what they wanted to do and when they wanted to do it and who they wanted to do it with. I've been like that before, but I had to change because I had a calling on my life. I have a calling on my life. So this is a video blog of me starting my company, and I wanted to just keep it real. I'll try to get myself dolled up a little bit in the future. I do care a little bit. God bless y'all. Hey, make sure you check out my other channels. I'm going to try to link them in the description below. I'm going to try to link them real quick because I do have a channel that I make prayer, and it's mostly like a prayer and praise channel. I'm going to get into some word pretty soon on there. And I have another variety channel or whatever that I just do random stuff on. And yeah, I actually have a TikTok and a Facebook too, and a Twitter. So I will try to link those in the description below. And if you made it to the end, I love you. I just do. Why we can't just say that? If you needed a plate of food, I'll feed you. But I don't want anything in return. No. And I love you. I love everybody. I even love that company still. Well, not the company, but the people. Because the company is just a company. It's just a company. But the people, I still love them too, you know. I just can't deal with them on that business level anymore. And that's okay because I was dispensable, obviously. And so were they. Bye-bye.